Right. So last week, no, sometime in January, I wrote this about how good container sites could be. And without doubt, I got the best reaction on my newsletter, MrSelfStorage.com. People absolutely loved it. So I thought, you know what? Let's hop on and do a podcast about it. I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible because we're about to go on holiday and record this on Monday. And my wife is waiting for me. So I need to get ready as well. Believe it or not, I'm not ready. And so, yeah. But I did want to show you and highlight how good container sites can be. And people overlook them because people think that, it's a container site, it's day. And yes, there is bad container sites, but it's like there's bad indoor sites as well. And so what I think we should do is really look at outdoor sites because not only they're a great cash on cash return, but they're also very, very good with cash flow returns. And so, yeah, and I think people look down on them when they don't really need to be. And I wonder if I actually put it here. I'll go through it, and then there is cons as well, and maybe to go do another podcast about the cons. Right, okay. I'll try to highlight the cons anyway. So my Beverly site. Most people think for a container site to make money, you need to have a shit ton of containers. Nope, you definitely don't. My Beverly site is a very, very, very small site. We've got 7,415 square foot of lettable space available. When I wrote this, we was currently 90% full. We are no longer 90% full. We are around about 80-something% full, 83% full, something like that. As of writing this, it was 6,685 square foot lettable. That's not a shit ton of lettable square foot, is it? There's hardly any there. People will be thinking, well, under 7,000 of lettable square foot, you can be making pennies. What is the point? Is it worth it? No cash on cash return. You're all wrong. You can make decent money with this. We are currently taking, pin your ears back, this is unbelievable. When I showed Kevin Thompson, my brother site, he was like, if I did an outdoor site, this is exactly what it looked like. I'm like, oh, thank you, Kevin. Because obviously the storage scene looks absolutely self-storage porn. And for Kevin to say that, I was like, and I was running through the numbers with me. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, mate. Right. And so you need to do it correctly. Don't get me wrong, my Beverly site did win the container site of the year. 2022, 2021 was runners up, 2023 was runners up as well. It is a very, very decent site. Yes, we do have containers there, but the majority of the units are purpose-built. They cost a lot of money, but they're purpose-built. They've got electric roller shutters. They've got insulation, proper household insulation. They've got ply line throughout. They've got lights inside. And you name it, they've got it. It is, you could live in there. You could get a little heater in there and you could live in there. They are very, very nice units. So it's not like the traditional container site, but it's the returns are still bananas. Right, we are currently taking £16,709 per month, excluding VAT. Excluding VAT, motherfucker. Sorry, I was thinking about the hangover and the hangover. Anyway, if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you live in a very nice life because I love the hangover. It's great. Right. Right. Another email. God, every single podcast I've done today, I've got an email. So that's a touch over £200,000 ex that we are taking per annum. Guess how much square foot that is, price per square foot? That's £29.91 per square foot. Nearly 30 quid per square foot for an outdoor container site. And like I want to reiterate again, I don't think that everybody can get these returns. Of course not, because these are different units than anywhere else. They're beautiful units. So you don't normally get these sort of units. And now I'm trying to price up again, and they're very, 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 very expensive to do. A lot more expensive when we open. So there is some caveats attached to this. But by no means does it mean you can't make decent money from a container site. Of course you can. Right. So that's a touch of £200,000 per annum, £30 per square nuts. I put that is nuts for an outdoor site. Okay, Dean. So you're taking 200 grand, but your expenses must be quite big. Every single unit there is paid for. We have got no units that we owe or got any finance on. They're just all paid for. Right, so let's look at the expenses. The rent is £18,000 per annum. The rates are £6,000. That's £24,000. It's a manless site, so we've got very, very little electric. We've got very, very little, we've got no water, and no water supply. Insurance, yes, we have insurance, but it's very, very minute. It's a very, very small site. And so let's say that the electric insurance is £10,000. It's not, but let's say it is. That means it's £34,000, but we are taking in revenue. Expenses is £34,000. That means there's £166,000 profit on this site per year. Now, by the way, B's not taking all that money. B's reinvesting every single sodding penny and putting it back into self-storage in some way, shape, or form. That money just goes straight away into all the debts. Like, I've got over £1 million worth of debt. It just goes into that. And so it's not me like, oh yeah, another 166 into the actual. There's none of that. One day there will be when all the debt's paid for, but then I'll keep expanding, and so therefore there'll be more debt. And when I stop expanding, that is when I'm like, sexual, come into bed, sexual, come in. But at the minute, it looks good. My business looks brilliant on paper, but in terms of cash flow, it's always going to be a struggle when you're increasing the way we are there. When we started last year, we had 2 sites, and now we've got 6. So yeah, it's expanding crazily, and we're taking no outside capital. I'm trying to hold on for dear life, taking no outside capital. I'm thinking, shit, I can take some, like Dan Bradbury said, you can take some chips off the table, you can pay the house off. And I know other entrepreneurs, like James Sinclair said, that's the worst thing you can do, paying your house off because it's cheap debt. But can you imagine having your house paid for and knowing no matter what happens, your house is covered? It must be such a relief. At the minute, I've got charges galore, personal guarantees. And so taking some chips off the table will be nice at some point, but it's not yet there. I can hold on to these coattails a little bit longer and juggle cash flow for a little bit longer for a bigger exit. The longer I can hold on for without taking outside capital, etc., the bigger my exit's going to be. And maybe I won't need to take on outside capital. Maybe. But that's the plan anyway. So £166,000 profit per year. That's £24.83 profit per square foot. Nearly 25 quid per square foot profit. Incredible. Please note, I haven't offered any wages as it's a manless site and it takes around 2 hours to run. Because it's a mature site. There's very, very, as you can see, if you're a member of MrSelfStorage.com, a member, it's free. It's a newsletter. We had 3 quotes all last week. We had 1 move in and 1 move out. We don't have to be there. It's a manless site. And so it takes a maximum of 2 hours to run. A lot of people look down on outside sites and it urges you to think again. There's a lot of money can be made from a good outdoor site. But in tomorrow's newsletter, I'm going to highlight the cons of an outdoor site, what I do to protect myself. Do you know what? Bloody go through it now. Have we got time? If I can find it. Oh, yeah. Right, the cons. We had an amazing response to yesterday's newsletter. I had to add that bit in because it was incredible, the response. But I don't want everyone to go outside and rush and buy and rent a piece of land and buy loads of containers and open, because there are negatives for an outdoor site. So in today's podcast, not newsletter, I'm going to be highlighting the biggest cons. The biggest con to open an outdoor site can be low barrier to entry, my friends, and that is 100% true. Low cost to start a container site. Yep, we all know that. Just about anyone can get the funds together to open a container site. In the last year, we have seen 3 competitors open up around us in container sites, and one was a bloody friend as well. So just beware. There is a low barrier to entry for there is a low barrier to entry. Oh, there isn't a barrier to entry. Yeah. So basically, I'm saying there's a barrier to entry for indoor sites because it's 7 figures to open up a good indoor site. And so not everybody can afford that. A container site, you can get asset finance, you can have rent-free periods. And so most people can get the money together and open an outdoor site. It's not particularly hard. If you haven't got competitors for your outdoor site, you soon will have. There's 2 main ways I try to protect myself and differentiate my business, my self-storage business, from the competitors. Number 1, and by the way, no particular order, by the way, because I probably think number 2 is more important. Make sure you look superior. You need to stand out in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a look of the units, the quality of the units, or the quality of the facility. You have to stand out from your competition, because if you don't, you're comparing like for like. And when you are comparing like for like, then it just comes down to price. You're a commodity. So don't allow yourself to be compared like for like, because we don't want to be a commodity. If you're a commodity, then you're in the price game, and we do not want to be in that price game. And heaven forbid you win that price game and you're on the lowest. There's no value in being the second lowest. So you might as well be the lowest, but then the lowest, it's a horrible, horrible race. So do not be a commodity. Number 2, location, location, location. I'm going to say it again. Location, 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 baby. Location is supremely important. Supremely. And as time goes on, I'm beginning to get more and more confident and bang this drum about location. And in the years to come, it's going to be more important. Yes, can you make it now? I was talking to somebody. They've got a horrible location, and the site is doing really, really well. But their multiple one is crazy based upon the location and the standard of the units. Absolutely will not get that. And I hope to God they do, because it's better for me if they do get that price. And what they've done so far is amazing. They've achieved so much good stuff. But when they came to me and said, Dean, what do you think this is? Can you help? Would you buy this? Do you think it's value? I hate it saying, no, it's not value. And two things. There wasn't superior in any way, the units and the location. A couple of people are thinking I'm the right person. Just try to think. I remember where. The location wasn't good at all, and therefore the multiple you're going to get is not a lot. But if you can look superior, you can differentiate yourself for your units, and your location can't be outpositioned or in a good position, your multiple next is going to be huge. And by the way, lease as well. You need a long lease as well if you're going to get high multiple. You need long leases. Short-term leases are no good. So location, I want to be in the best position. I never want to be outpositioned. Here's a quick example of the points above for my Beverley site. My Beverley site looks superior to any of its competition. I thought, hopefully you agree. Check it out, beverley24.co.uk. There's no way my Beverley site doesn't look better than any of my local competitors. Absolutely will not have it at all. We look by far and away the best. It's not quite the best location, but I don't think it can be outpositioned, or certainly until there's some development land come available in Beverley. I don't think that's happening. And so it's very, 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 very tough to buy some land in Beverley. And so it's just off the main road. And so it's very, very hard to be outpositioned. If you have one of the 2 points above, you're well on your way. So making your units look superior or your location, you're well on your way to having a successful self-storage facility for the long term, not just short term, because most people now open up, you'll be successful for the short term, no doubt about it. I'm pretty much certain most people would be. But if you want longevity and a big multiple exit, then I do think you need at least one of those, ideally 2. And please don't get me wrong, there's loads of container sites that are absolutely crushing it that I know of, and they are not in the best location, and they just have normal containers. So it can easily be done, but I personally prefer not to play that game, because I'm all about long term and getting a big multiple. And so that's got to be what I'm looking for. And with that being the criteria, then I need 1 or 2 of those things that we spoke about. All right, my friends, a bit longer than I expected, but it's a good one. I think it's a good one. Right, don't forget, subscribe to MrSelfStorage.com. I love you. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.